we haven't really talked face to face yet. So, as you saw, I went to New Orleans for a little bit just for some family stuff, and I thought, what better place to start the first fall book of the year? The first spooky book, if you will. Now, let's address it. I was originally supposed to do Atlas 6. For the life of me, could not find the self-published paperback. And I think that one's prettier than the new cover, but I did end up ordering Ninth House, obviously. And it came with the one that has the snake with a little bit of red on it. It's not the fully black cover, which I kind of like. I kind of like that. Gives it just like a little bit of pizzazz. As you can see, I have already started tabbing in. I've been annotating more of my books recently, which I've been really liking. I am exactly 104 pages in, but now that I'm about 100 pages into it, I kind of am seeing like the premise of it. Basically, it's set at Yale, and there's like all of these secret societies, and they're able to use different kinds of magic, and it hasn't talked about all of them yet. Also, don't know why it's called Ninth House. I'm assuming we'll get there because it keeps talking about 8 houses, but basically each one kind of uses their own little different category of magic. So like one is for binding contracts and things along that vein, and then there's one for prophecy, stuff like that. But they use it in very practical ways, which I really appreciate. I feel like that was interesting. Like we open on this scene where they're at like a prophecy reading, but the way that they do it, it's like how people read tea leaves, but instead of it being tea leaves, it's a literal person and their intestines on a tree. They use that to predict like the stock market or something and continue to be rich, which, like, you know, respect the hustle, I guess. But anyways, the main character is Alex, and she can see ghosts, which people call grays. So a little bit in, this girl dies. She doesn't go to Yale, so they're trying to pass it off as no type of connection is going on, but it's obvious that she feels a little different. Go get him! So it's really interesting so far. Obviously, they're doing some world building, and so right now I'll go through like my little tabs. So I recently got new tabs, and they're really cute, and they came with 4 of them, and I swear all of them look like they correlate to a season. So obviously I chose this one for fall, and this one did fall off. Basically right now I have like a little key that I wrote in here. So I wrote that the red is history-based world building. So basically there's a lot of pages that kind of look like this, and it's entries from the book that her mentor has given her to study for the societies and stuff. This one is on one of the houses, Skull and Bones. The next one is on another house and stuff like that. So I've been tabbing those with this. Then we've got this pretty dark green, and I have that one for foreshadowing or little details that stick out to me that I feel like are mentioned because they're gonna be important in the future. Then I have this like super light gray that's really hard to see, and that was just something that I found extremely relatable personally, and I really liked how it was written, so I went ahead and tabbed that one. And then I'm low-key regretting it a little bit because it's kind of hard to tell the difference between this and the green. This like super dark navy blue, that one is going to be for character-based world building, but I will update you soon. I'm about halfway through now. Honestly, for a little bit it was dragging, but things are happening. I read the part where, I don't want to spoil it, how do I say this? She goes to the river and talks to North. That scene, I feel like I could picture it so clearly. It like really set like a clear visual for me, and I loved it. I thought it was really cool. Also, the more that I read, the more that I realize that me and Darlington are very similar. So I want more from his perspective. Speaking of, so basically the way that the book is laid out is the chapters go between winter and last fall. So last fall is like Darlington's point of view, and then winter is from Alex's point of view. And he's gone, and they don't know where he's at. And they're keeping it like super vague. So they're just like, really all that they have mentioned is that he got lost during some type of like magic thing. and they're supposed to do some type of ritual to try and find him, but it has to be on a full moon, so they have to wait. And in between that, all of this stuff is happening. There's that girl's murder, and she's like convinced that it's connected to the societies and all this stuff. Not a ton has progressed as far as info into solving it, but what I'm thinking, because there's also like a plot line of one of the ghosts, I feel like maybe the murder and that plot line are gonna end up being kind of parallels. So I feel like when they find what happens to one, it's gonna make sense. Like the other one's gonna make sense. I don't know how else to explain that. But I read a lot of this when I didn't have my highlighter and my little tabs and everything. So I think I'm gonna sit down and go through all of the pages that I dog-eared and add all of my silly little tabs to it because it's so cute. Look. I love it. I think 2 chapters left. I have some thoughts. We figured out what's been going on. We figured out the whole big, like, why. So I'm curious to know what the rest of it's gonna be. Obviously, it has to set up for the second book that's about to come out. So yeah, I'm gonna read through that really quick. Okay, a lot of curveballs are being thrown. A lot. And I'm here for it. Yes. I get it. I get it now. I get why people want the second one. Let me collect myself and get some of my thoughts together. So I finished annotating it and tabbing it and everything, and this is what it looks like. So overall, I really liked this book. For a little bit, I was a little scared, and I even made a note on page 190. Let me see if I can find it. I was really nervous that it was gonna be kind of like predictable as far as who was behind things. It's not. You'd think it is for a second, but it's not. So I was so glad when there was like a little plot twist moment going on, because I was like, I called that at like 1/3 through the book. But that's not, how do I say this without spoiling things? You know what? I just won't say anything. But then you find out what actually happens, and then there's more curves and plot twists. The last 2 chapters was just a lot. And honestly, the last chapter spoke to me. Oh my gosh. It was everything that I was wanting. It was graveyards, and it was plot twists that I didn't expect, but had been planted pretty well. I don't know. I just like the setting. It was giving. It was giving October. You know? So I did really like it. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 only because I feel like the sequel is gonna be like, I feel like it's gonna give me a 5 out of 5 feeling, and I kind of want to save it for that. Is that bad? So the sequel is Hellbent, and it comes out January 10th, I think, of 2023. I feel like this one was very much dark academia. They're at Yale, so like obviously. But I feel like the sequel is gonna be more like just dark. Less academia going on. And I really hope that we get to see like a lot more of the societies, I guess, because we saw quite a few of them in like single rituals that they do, which was very interesting. But I really want to see Book and Snake, because you can't tell me you're not excited to see Book and Snake. Well, there has to be a reason that they were not in this book. I just feel it in my bones. They're gonna play a heavy role in the next book. I have nothing to back that up, besides maybe that there's a snake on the cover of this one. I don't know. I'm waiting for them. I'm also wanting more Darlington. I'm very excited to kind of like deep dive into that whole mess of a thing. I'm so excited for the next one. I see why you guys told me to wait. That's okay. I have a lot of good scary books coming up, so hopefully that will satisfy me until the sequel comes out. But that's really all I got. This was good. I'm gonna go paint my nails black and like hang out in a cemetery. So see you guys later.